for you to do. Fantastic. So I'll just start again. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining this call, and most especially for the fellows for the wonderful work you do. Trust me. I remember in the year 2009, when I gained admission, I was stuck at some point. I kept asking myself, what can I do as a student? And for 4 years, 5 years in school, I kept searching, 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 and I couldn't find anything to do. And social media was just coming up there, and I was clueless of what to do. Data, when we really did not have access to the internet and all of that. But today, I see the amazing work you guys do, even as students. The fact that you're able to combine your work, your studies, and still volunteer to do these things for the college to school training, STEM training, and outreaches you guys put together. I want to say a very, very big thank you to you guys. So while preparing for this session, I had you all in mind, and I just wanted to kickstart my teaching this evening on the note that whatever we're teaching here is streamlined to you. I'm not teaching as though I'm teaching in a boardroom or anything. I prepared these slides, I prepared this point just specifically for you and for the work you do for WAAW. Okay, so this is a training that is important to you, it's important to me, and it's important to all of us as well, because we want whatever it is you are investing your time into, we want it to be worth the time. Okay, so today I'll be speaking about storytelling, how to report your impact. I see a lot of work being done. And in January, we had a lot of STEM outreach programs. Even in this February, a lot of programs have gone out, and you guys have been amazing. But one of the things we found out was the fact that storytelling was missing in all of the activities. Pictures were taken, testimonials were taken, but they were not hitting the target. They were not hitting the target because one of the things that can happen to someone after making all of this impact is to not have a good report. It's for people not to see the effort, for people not to see the impact. And only you can understand the effort they are put into it. Only you can understand the resources that has gone into it. I even saw one STEM outreach actually giving out refreshment, and I was wondering, where did they get the funding for this? I saw another STEM outreach, I think in northern Nigeria, where they gave cash prizes to some students, no matter how little. That was good. That was good. But like I said, I'm just here to help you amplify your voice, help you amplify the things that you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing is very important. It's very important, and that is why at WAAW we actually value you guys. That's why we make sure that no matter what, we are meeting every month to interact, to educate, and to also help you become better at what you do. So I'll be starting with storytelling, and the word storytelling is not new to us. Most of us have heard stories before, maybe a good story or a bad story. You must have heard someone tell you a story before. Some of those stories are not true, some are true. But today, what you do, the impact you do, they are very much true. We just want to help you understand what you're doing and how to amplify the voice. So I will start by telling you a story. I grew up with my grandfather, and I was still telling someone yesterday that for the earliest part of my life, I thought my grandfather was my dad because I started living with him when I was barely a year old. And I enjoyed living with him because he was very, very friendly. He was retired then, and all we had was just time. So we're always home together. I'm the second grandchild, so I had that privilege of eating with him. And most of the time, all we do is talk about stories, talk about when he was young. He told me stories about how he bought his first land as a young man and how he started building his house. And those were inspiring stories. And I told myself that one day I can't wait to also grow older and have children and have grandchildren and tell them these stories. But what really is storytelling? Like you can see on the screen, storytelling is the act of conveying in an event, an idea, and emotions through a narrative. So the way storytelling is built or the way storytelling is structured, it is actually driving home a narrative. My grandfather was telling me a story about how he built his house. But the narrative that I got from that is that as a young man, I have to work hard because buying a land does not come cheap. And if I don't work hard, I wouldn't be able to afford a land. My grandfather didn't say that, but the story he was telling me about how he got his house actually built that narrative in me. So whatever it is that you are doing with storytelling is to actually build a narrative. It is to actually drive home a point. So storytelling actually transforms simple information into a narrative that resonates and drives change. So the story my grandfather told me actually resonated with me, and it has driven me to the point that now I'm looking forward to when I can pay for my land, when I can lay the foundation. So whatever you do, the impact you're trying to do when you go out for your STEM outreach is to actually drive home a narrative. I see when people drop the pictures, they drop the stories in the WhatsApp group. I see that sometimes when people do not engage those posts, you feel somehow because you want people to see the impact, you want people to feel the impact, you want people to be able to connect to what you guys are doing. And trust me, that people are not liking a post does not mean people are not seeing it. We have just been built in such a way that we want to see the likes, we want to really see them. But the truth is that people actually view your content more than they like your content. That is why we have impressions. When you check your analytics on each pages, you can see the impressions. Sometimes I look forward to the impressions because some people might not want their name out there that I liked this post, but the fact that they have seen it says a lot. Okay, so next slide, please. So I'm just trying to build a foundation about what storytelling is. So I wrote here that stories are the most powerful tool we have to inspire change. Like I told you about my grandfather's story, it actually changed me. It inspired me. It inspired a change in me. Look at these pictures. I carefully selected this picture. And if 10 years from today, these students, they are now engineers, they are doctors, they are living a good life in different parts of the world, and they see this picture again, something in them will always remember what happened to them when they attended this training. But one thing that is also important is when you are taking pictures or when you are trying to capture a moment, remember that you're not just capturing that moment, you are actually capturing a memory. A moment is instant, a memory is something that will last forever. If you go through the WAAW pages, you can see pictures that were taken maybe 5 years ago. That is memory from 5 years ago. But at that instant that that picture was taken, it was just a moment. It was a moment in time that if you miss it that moment, you might not be able to get it again. That's why it is important that you learn to document every event. I know people who take pictures every day on their phones because they want to go back in time to remember something about that day. So for every outreach that you do, I'm sure you guys are not planning to just do one outreach for the rest of your time in school. You want to do multiple outreach. You should be able to capture moments that when you look back 2 years, when you look back to when you were in 100 level, the STEM outreach you did, you want to see an improvement when you did another one in 200 level, you want to see another improvement with the one you did in 300 level. So it is important that you learn to document moments and not just documenting the moment, but documenting it rightly. And that is the gap that we saw and decided that let's have this session, let's come to talk, let's just bring it to the limelight and ask people and tell them the right way to actually take pictures and capture the best moment. Okay, next slide, please. So what makes a great impact story, you would ask? Because someone can be wondering and saying to himself or herself, but we take pictures. Why? Is there a problem with our pictures? Of course, there are no problem with your pictures. We're just speaking about the fact that it can be better. For everything, there is always a better way of doing it. So now, what makes a great impact story? There are four things I highlighted here. One is the problem. There's always a challenge that you see that you want to address. I'm sure that when you spotlight a school and said this school we want to go teach them something, there must have been a problem that you first identified. You first saw a problem. You first went on your research. You visited the school. You spoke to maybe the students. You spoke to maybe the principal, and you just wanted to ask what really is going on. I never had the opportunity to be trained in STEM, and I remember attending a secondary school at a point where for a whole semester we did not have a physics teacher. And I was a science student. It really affected me. I struggled with physics a lot. And then I remember buying some textbooks and principles of physics, and it was so tough. Anytime I opened the book, I would always slip off because I couldn't understand those principles I was seeing, the Archimedes principles, and all of those things. I was just in SS1. I needed someone to show me the ropes. I needed someone to guide me. I needed someone to just teach me these things first, and so that I can get it and go study it myself. So for the things you do, you first identify that problem that maybe these students are not well taught in science. Maybe these students are not well exposed to technology. And to be very honest, in this part of Africa, we talk about technology a lot, but we are just realizing that we need to infuse technology into our curriculum. And some schools are still struggling with even having television in classes for students. Maybe to them, they feel it is a distraction. But in all honesty, we are trying to make all of our classes a bit more digital. We just don't want to write on the chalkboard or the whiteboard. So you identify these things in some schools that these students are far behind in technology. They don't understand science. They don't even know what the word of science is saying, even in the year 2025. So you first identify the problem. Then after identifying the problem, you move to a solution. What activities or projects did you implement? So the challenge that chapter that you are trying to address, the solution you will bring would happen through a project. You would suggest a project or you suggest an activity to the school. And that alone is a solution that you're bringing to the problem that you discovered in that gap in science or in STEM in that school. So the third point in how to what makes a great impact story is the impact itself. What were the outcomes? What were you able to achieve? You identified a problem. You are also proposing a solution, and you have actually even implemented the solution or the proposed solution. Now you are looking at this solution that we actually gave to these girls, we gave to this school. What did it do for them? That is the impact. What is going to happen after they attend this activity, after they attend this project, these STEM classes? What would happen to them? That alone is the impact. What are the outcomes? So in gathering all of this impact, you can do all of that using data, testimonials, and visuals. So after you have identified the problem, you proposed a solution, you are trying to measure your impact. It doesn't end there, because one good project should birth other projects. One good STEM outreach should birth other outreach, because some students in this school have connection to students in another school. And for by just word of mouth, I can go home. If I attend a particular school that STEM outreach came to my school, I would want to share with a friend in another school. And that friend in another school is wondering, this is new. I've not heard about it, but I'm interested. But I can't leave my school to come to your school. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that a good STEM outreach should be able to birth another STEM outreach. And that is the future of each project. That is the future of each outreach. What's next for that, your chapter? What's next after this outreach? You understand? The impact shouldn't stop. Your impact should be liquid in the form that it should keep spreading. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. One student is enough to inspire change. But imagine your whole chapter. Imagine what your chapter itself can do. Next slide. So let me take you through how to report an impact story. So I came up with an example of a STEM outreach. So there's a problem. So the problem here is lack of access to STEM education in underdeserved schools. So we discovered that, okay, the problem in this school is that they do not have access to STEM education. I would just thought about a solution, and the solution is to organize a robotics workshop for 30 students. That's a good solution. That's a proposed project, a proposed activity that you propose to a school. Now, the impact of that is measured in 90% of the participants reported increased interest in STEM careers. That's fantastic. So these are data that you can keep, but the goal of this is not to just gather the data, is not to just gather the pictures, is to actually use them for to inspire change in others, use them to inspire or provoke emotions in people. So the future, after you identify the problem in the school, the lack of STEM education, you provide a solution by organizing a robotics workshop for 30 students. The impact that you saw after the robotics workshop is 90% of participants reported increased interest in STEM. Now, what's the future? What's the future? Is to expand to 5 more schools the following year. So in that, this is you mapping out that say in the next 1 year we're going to reach out to 5 more schools. Because of the impact you saw in a particular school, you discover that if more students can come together, if we can train more students, then we can have more numbers, and that more numbers will actually help us solve that problem. The problem initially is lack of access to education in underdeserved schools. So after you've done all of these 4 steps, what is now important again is the visual, a photo from the workshop, and a testimonial. Let's go to the next slide as I progress very quickly. So let's talk about type of visuals. Now, we see a lot of pictures. We see a lot of beautiful pictures that you take, especially those who always want to go branded. You're wearing nice WAAW t-shirt and all of that. Looking good is not the focus of your project. It's not the focus of the impact. Or looking good is not what drives the impact. What drives the impact are the lives that are changed, are the lives of the students that are touched. And guess what? They are inspired because they did not know, or maybe they did not realize what STEM really is. Because if they had gone through school without STEM, they, perhaps their life could have gone in a different direction. Some of them could have just dropped out of science because they are not confident enough to continue in STEM because no one told them about STEM. No one encouraged them to stay in STEM. Imagine a lady who wants to become an engineer, and because of the mindset that maybe ladies are not smart enough to handle science courses, she drops out. But imagine her seeing you come and train her as a female student or as a female STEM trainer coming to speak to them about STEM. That alone is inspiring. Something happened recently. I had the opportunity of meeting, interviewing a lady, a woman, a legend in art in Nigeria. Her name is Nike, of Mrs. Adenike of Nike Art Gallery. She has over 25,000 art pieces that is housed in 5 different buildings. And I asked her, my colleague and I, we asked her, of all the things you have achieved, what is your greatest inspiration? And she said something. She said, seeing women occupying positions in banking, in big industries, in science, is one dream she never saw coming. Because she said, where she was growing up in the late 90s, in the late 70s, in the late 80s, it was difficult for a woman to even become a bank manager. She said something that was very intriguing. She said, as a woman, you cannot get a degree higher than your husband in those days in Africa. And I was really shocked. But he said today women are even attaining more than men. And to be very honest, I've met ladies that are far, 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 far more intelligent and more brilliant than male. This is not to shade the male student, but I'm saying that if you can educate the male child, we can also educate the female child because together we can make the nation better. Making a nation better is not gender based, it is just individual based. Anyone can make the nation better. And that's why we believe in the power of education through STEM, and we believe in the power of the things that you're doing. So, speaking about visuals, when you take pictures, make sure you are not just documenting pictures for the beauty of it, for the beauty of the outfit you're wearing. No, you're documenting pictures for the impact that you're trying to achieve, and also for anyone who will come in contact with those visuals. So looking at these pictures without saying anything, these pictures are already telling stories of curiosity, that some students are curious to learn something about all of these gadgets on the screen. So like I wrote here, let every image tell a story and drive curiosity. So if I see this picture, I'm wondering, who are those people learning these things? Who are those teaching them? Do teachers in secondary schools or college schools now know how to teach all of these things? Asking those questions is me trying to be curious enough and getting to now discover that these things were done by university students who just want to inspire young students in the colleges and secondary school. That alone is inspiring. So you must understand that when you take pictures, you're not just taking pictures for the fun of it. You're not just documenting a picture just to show your friends that you had an outreach in school, in a school, or you did something remarkable today and you just want to post on your status. No. Remember when I spoke about moments and memories? Yes, the moments are great, but what is very important is also the memory that you're trying to build and the memory you're trying to preserve. So when you take pictures, think long term. Think long term. Think what that picture can become. Think what that picture can drive home for you. If you are asking for someone to assist you or to fund a project, showing them pictures like this is inspiring enough rather than showing them pictures of you taking pictures in your WOW t-shirt and just holding a banner. That does not tell a story. That does not drive home any point. The idea is that where your pictures will get to, you might not get there. And where your pictures need to speak for you, you might not be there. So you need your pictures to go ahead of you to be able to speak or tell a complete story with or without your presence. So that is the essence of you documenting the right moment in time so that when anyone comes in contact with that picture, they are able to deduce what is going on in that picture, and they are able to ask questions or be curious enough to want to know more. So let the kind of pictures you are trying to take in all of your outreaches, let it drive home curiosity in the heart of people. Let it drive home an emotion. There's a particular picture later in the slides where students were really happy to learn about STEM, and that is what we want you guys to be able to achieve with all of your outreaches. Let's go quickly in the next slides. Also, please let me be sure that you're getting it. If you know you're getting something from the session, just drop a comment, just drop like or something, or say something. Let me know you are still here with me. All right, fantastic. So now, how to tell your stories? There are different components to telling a story. It is not just about taking pictures alone. There are other aspects of storytelling that are also important. The first one is data, the use of numbers. When you are impacting students, just don't say we impacted 10,000 students or we impacted. No, don't just say we impacted many students. Be able to work with data. The world we live in now is data driven, and it is important that you're also documenting in numbers so that we can be sure that yes, this training actually reached out to so number of persons. So look at a good way to use data is to say 50 students trained in robotics. You can also say students trained in robotics. That sounds good, but that is not a complete story. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. In documentation, that is not a complete story. But saying 50 students trained in robotics, that's a fantastic. So you're already reporting in numbers, and it's actually driving curiosity in the heart of people that, wow, you guys were able to reach 50. Some persons can say we reached out to 1,005 people. That is inspiring enough. You understand what I'm saying? So also when you are taking numbers, also work with testimonials. Work with testimonials. Don't just train students and leave. Make sure you are getting feedbacks from them. It is important that you're getting feedbacks from them because feedbacks will also help you in planning your next outreach. Will also help you in understanding how to drive home your point, because you can think to yourself that what you did was fantastic and your program was great. You took nice pictures. What if all you taught them, they really did not understand it? It is through gathering testimonials that you will really understand what you taught, what you will understand that what you taught, if it actually connected to them, if they actually gained something from it. Okay. So I've spoken about visuals, pictures, videos, or before and after snapshots. Those ones are also great. Also, another part to how to tell a story is a call to action. So when you are done with all of your picture taking data and you want to post on social medias, you want to share all of your content, let it be a clear goal to it. Let it be a clear ask for people to join you in doing something. It is not just about we had a STEM outreach, thank you. No, let it drive home a narrative. Remember how we started, that storytelling should drive home a narrative. So through a call to action, you are able to tell them, support our mission. Join us in inspiring these ladies. Join us in taking STEM to underdeserved schools. Those are call to action. So people are inspired by the things you do and they see themselves in what you do. A lot of people want to do what you do, but they don't have the opportunity to do it. The fact that you're doing it is enough inspiration for them. But when you do things like this, make sure you're also inspiring people and calling them to join you in this. You are not an island and you cannot reach the whole girls in Africa. But together we can do much. So I want to also employ us that as we post, as we share content, make sure you're also what calling out for people to join you in this drive. The goal is to reach more people, and you alone cannot reach all of the people we want to reach. So get the work done by also inspiring people and calling them to action to join you on this course. Okay, next slide, Olu. So let's quickly just touch base on resources to help you tell your stories. We have free resources, and one of the things I am so grateful for this generation is that we have access to a lot of resources online that can help us drive home points, like Canva. Just this slide you're looking at was created on Canva. So for creating visuals, if you cannot pay a graphics designer, you don't know anything about graphics, there are templates on Canva, and most of those templates are free. So you can create your visuals using Canva. You want to capture a quote from a student, you have their picture, you just want to report a quote that a student did. You can actually write it, but putting it in visuals tell more stories, because imagine you posting, how do you want to post on Instagram or Facebook without any visual? Most people will just look at your content and just think that this person is lazy, this person does not know what he or she is doing. So it is important that you learn to create visuals. And if you're struggling with sophisticated software like the CorelDRAW, the Photoshop, just come to Canva. Trust me, as an experienced graphics designer for me, I'm amazed at how much Canva can do in a short while. When I'm struggling to rack my head about a particular design and I'm seeing a free template on Canva, and most of my clients will not even know I'm using Canva. So it is important that you find the easiest way to do what you need to do. Okay. So some of you will be asking, how do you collect feedbacks? In this time where papers can be misplaced, something can happen to those papers that you want them to write, teach them how to use the internet. Let them start learning how to use the internet early. Teach them how to reply to Google Forms. They are not too young to learn these things. And it is important that what you're teaching them, aside STEM, you're also inspiring them to be curious to learn more on their own. Teach them Google Forms. I believe that the internet is not just a place where people just come for entertainment. It's a good place to learn. And these simple tools are things that they can start learning at an early age. I feel like every young person in STEM should also start learning a tech skill, no matter how small, maybe data analysis or something, because all of these things are important skills that they would need even on their journey career-wise. So teach them how to use Google Forms so that those feedbacks can be documented and kept for a long time, and you can always go back to reuse them as content. Okay. So resources to also help you to tell your story is social media. Social media. I see that we all use social media very well, but the goal is to not just use it, but to use it rightly, okay? To use it in the right way. So remember what we spoke about, the pictures, the videos, and all of that. Make sure you're taking you're taking pictures that can tell a complete story, even when you are not there. Let the pictures be able to speak complete story for themselves, okay? Another resources to tell your stories, annual reports. Compile your achievements into a report. I think we did that last year where some STEM outreaches won some funds because they were able to tell us the impact they had in a year. Do that. It's a way to also tell your story. Compile, make sure, that's why it's good to document. Make sure you're keeping all of these resources. So imagine when we spoke about the Google Forms and them giving feedbacks. Imagine in 1 year, if they have written their testimonials in a paper, those papers could go missing. But with a Google form, all you just need to do is to log on to the back end of the form and you can see all of the things that was written a year ago, 2 years ago. Okay. So also for visuals, logos of the tools or a screenshot of a sample report, just make sure you are telling stories with visuals, with any form of um, application or any form of screenshot or simple or sample report. Just make sure you are documenting your stories in such a way that if anyone comes across it, they can understand it and get the message. Okay. The next slide, please. Yeah. So remember the story, the picture I told you about how they were so happy to look at how curious these girls are to just look at these gadgets. And that is the beauty of all the things you do. You are inspiring them enough for them to want to learn more. And you're not just leaving them hanging, you're leaving a lasting impact in their heart. So your story matters. You must learn to share it and not just share it with yourself alone. You must learn to share it with the world. Okay, I would like to stop here and take some questions. I really did not want to bore you with so many content, but I wanted you to get the message in simple and clear terms. I hope I've been able to do that this evening. Okay, thank you so much for having me. I will just be here to take some questions. Over to you, Tolu.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alan. Please, I want us to give Alan a wonderful. I want us to appreciate what Alan has taught us. Please, if you're in this call, I want to drop him an emoji to appreciate what Alan has done. Yes, this stories, they really go a long way. Like we said last week, we should always look back into our past. That was what we discussed last month. As you look back into the past, it gives us a way to forge ahead because you'll be able to appreciate what you've done. And this week, this month, it's more like a series. We're able to talk about, now that you have seen those things, how do you say it out to the world? It's not just like, I did this, I did that, I just put pictures and they're big. Yeah, it should be with a good story. Please, I want us to appreciate Alan. We are so grateful for this. This is very, very informative, and I'm very sure by next month you start seeing wonderful and amazing story that you keep reading, and you enjoy. So I want us to give a round of applause to this star lady, the WAAW Foundation lady with the multimeter, the battery, and that is that is making these wonderful ladies to be amazed at what she has done. Please, if you know this lady, if you are in the call, please let us hear. If you are in this call, I've forgotten her name. I'm trying to remember her name. This person should be from UI, if I'm not mistaken. Is anybody in this call that knows this person? Please let me know. Hello? Is anybody in this call that knows this person? Maybe she'll be the face of WOW for the week. Okay, I believe nobody's on this call that knows her. If you know her, please just unmute and tell me her name. Okay. Okay, while we wait for that, somebody joined the call, and I know majority of us know this person. Those of us that have been to fellow summits, if you're in fellow summits in South Africa, if you're in fellow summits last year, you must have seen Mr. O. Mr. O is in this call, so I'd like you to um, give a shout out to Mr. O. Mr. O, thanks for joining us this evening. We are so glad to have you. Mr. O, please, can you unmute and say hi to us?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, that's Mr. O. It's nice to have him. He has been one of our amazing teachers. Those of us that came for the summit, I know you must have learned one or two things from Mr. O. And I'm still learning from Mr. O. Yeah, it's been a wonderful teacher. All right, back to the business of today. We have learned that stories really, really matters. So henceforth, we'll be writing amazing stories about the things we have done. Good. So I would also like to say my story, and this is my story this month. And I want us to appreciate ourselves because we have done very, very, very amazing this month. We have WAAW Foundation chapters this month, which is you. The wonderful thing I love is that we are one family, and we have been able to organize 14 impactful outreaches. And I'm very sure some people have not reported their outreach because some will reach out and have not seen their report. So the reason why we are still taking it at 14 is because one person from one school has not reported their outreach. And we've been able to have outreaches in Malawi, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, and Sierra Leone. And this month alone, we've impacted over 919 girls and equipped them with STEM knowledge. And we've directly engaged with 828 students, more than 828 students at different schools, both government, faith-based, and private institutions. And we have been able to carry this out with a collective effort of people like Andy, people like Dabi, people like Chidimdu, people like Fola. Wow, it's good to have you here, Folua Joshua. That's one of our graduates, our latest graduates from OU. Like Ivy. Yes, Ivy, we are happy to have you. That Ivy from Kenya, I think. Yes, Ivy from Kenya. We are so happy to have you. Like Royce, like Paul, every one of us contributed to this. And this month was quite amazing. We are seeing a lot of posts on the group. And they're not just posts of talk. They're not just posts of preparation. They are posts of action. This shows that we are actually doing a lot of things out there. And I would like to say well done to every one of us. But one thing we want to improve upon this month is writing a story, how to write our stories, and let the whole world know that Olivia has done something amazing where she is, and Grace has done something amazing where she is. Bridget has done something amazing where she is. Onyechi has done something amazing where she is. And this is one thing we are looking forward to. So I would like to call on everybody that has done something amazing this month. But for now, I'll hold on that. We have a lot of pictures. We have a lot of people that have done something amazing. We have fellows from Kano, and Kano was so amazing. They were just having outreaches back to back. I was amazed. We could see things like we could see outreaches in 2 states at the same time. I was wondering, is Kano reaching out to the West again? Now Kano has been doing well. They organize outreaches, they organize um, debates, they organized a lot of things, and that was really impressive. You could see a lot of girls doing this. A shout out to Afsa, a shout out to Nana Awa. You are doing amazing over there in Kano. I want to say a big shout out to Grace Aldo in Port Harcourt. This is amazing. They are doing a lot in the oil city where money grows like grass. They are doing a lot of things there, and we are amazed to have you there. So we have a lot of people doing some things in Tanzania. This is Maria from Tanzania. She's doing a lot of things in Tanzania. So that is Maria, very close to the Mount Kilimanjaro. We have our STEM fellows doing awesome things there. We also have in Malawi. We also have a lot of engagements going on in Malawi. We also have in University of Nigeria, we have a lot of our girls, a lot of us doing a lot of things there. We have in Forabi College, that's in Sierra Leone. We have Edisia leading the team there. Edisia, well done. We have a lot of people doing amazing things. This is Elizabeth Kunda from Masai Mara University in Kenya. They're doing amazing stuff. We have University of Takwa, that's University of Mines in Takwa. They're doing a lot of things there. We have Nnamdi Azikwe here in Anambra State. You're doing quite amazing. I saw a lot of pictures from what you've been doing, and they're reaching out to girls and boys like some of us, most of us. And now 4 year is actually out, and they've launched and they started doing some amazing outreach this month, which is so impactful. And one of the reasons why you might be looking at why are we spelling out this thing, why are we saying these people are doing this, why are we saying these people are doing that, is to appreciate that we see what you do and we are so happy that you are doing all of this. And once a lot of us are getting inspired from your stories, a lot of us are getting inspired to do more and to become better individuals because we see that you are doing a lot of things there. So I'll keep mentioning, I'll keep mentioning. A lot of people are coming together. Please, let's spread the word. Let's reach the word. Let's reach the word. Let's tell others that their lives can be better with STEM. Their lives can be better with engaging properly in things that matters. So with this, I would like to say that's an highlight for what we have done in the past month, in the month of February. But now I want to open the floor for 2 people or 3. Yes, one of our alumni, that's Fola Joshua. You're going to tell us one thing that stood out for you as a fellow. You're going to say it in a story. That's Fola from OU. I know you have graduated already. Thanks for joining. And I want David to also speak from Cameroon. Just in 2 minutes, it's 1 minute. You can just tell us something that stood out for you. I want you to tell others about how you're able to navigate through STEM while you're a fellow. So Fola, can we hear from you? Hello, Fola Joshua. Can you hear? Folua, yes, Folua Joshua.
Hi, good
Okay.
evening. Well done.
Yeah. Good evening.
My name is so at some point I was confused, but yeah. So you said one thing that stood out for me as a fellow.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So I love the fact that WAAW equips our fellows. Memory lane going back and really there was this or rather there is this fellow summit that WAAW conducts. I was privileged to attend 2021 fellow summit. And I love the way they actually equipped us. And aside the whole practical, the hands-on experience, so the whole classroom experience for us, aside that, we're also giving kits to take back to our respective chapters. And yeah, I always say something, and I coined it from my experience with WAAW, that the beauty of STEM is actually hands-on. And I see one thing that WAAW really emphasizes on in bridging the gap between theories and practicals. So I love the fact that kids are always excited when you show them the practical aspect of STEM. And at times there are a couple of remarks whereby they say, oh, it's magic or it's, but really, I love the way they are highlighting based on practicals and all that. And I also love the WAAW community because even as a graduate fellow, you can still stay relevant and the foundation is still here for you. So I think, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's Folua Joshua, one of our STEM leaders at OOU in that's Olabisi Onabanjo University in Nigeria. So thank you for sharing that with us. She's a graduate now of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineer. She's also an engineer, and she's a woman like most of us. You are a man, so she's a woman like majority of us. So I'll give that to Dabi. Dabi, can you tell us one of the things that stood out for you in your outreaches this month or last month?
Okay, hello everyone.
Hello, Dabi.
Okay, so what actually stood for me, let me say, in these outreaches, right? Because I'm in Cameroon, I'm from Cameroon, and I'm actually in the Northwest region. Now, there's something that we need to note about my country. There's actually a crisis going on in our country. So most of these students, most of the girls, they are not like given opportunity to go to school again because of this crisis. Please, sorry for the noise. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry about that. We can hear you. Yeah, with you. Don't worry.
I was saying that my country is actually going through a crisis, and where I am in the Northwest region, students really find it difficult to go to school. Like, they even go to school with clothes. If they see you going to school with uniforms, you can be harassed or you can even be shot. So, but we have been striving and still managing to go out for outreaches. So it's just like making me to be so proud, because when I go out and I'm able to encourage these girls that even in the midst of the crisis in my country, they're able to learn something. They're able to learn about them and still pick up. Like, most of them, their eyes are opening. They are seeing what the possibilities of what they can do in the future, despite the crisis in my country. That's one thing that I'm really happy about as we are carrying out these outreaches, even with the crisis. And I will say that with my work with WAAW Foundation, it has been something that, in fact, it's a lifetime something that I'm holding so precious, so close to me, because that's really helped me a lot. Starting with the scholarship, it has helped me like in my internship and even in my project writing. Yeah, it has really helped me to be able to finance all of my projects. And I'm so glad and grateful to WAAW Foundation. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. That's so amazing, Dabi. Despite the challenge in Cameroon, Dabi still stood out to reach out to fellows, to reach out to students out there. I could just imagine how that would be. Please, if you're on this call, I want to give a thumbs up. I want to give, if you can give a virtual hug to Dabi, I want to give Dabi a virtual hug. She's actually doing a lot of things there in Cameroon. Yes, well done, Dabi. This is great. This is great. Keep it up. One day your story, and make sure you write your story out there. Somebody's going to listen to this story, and somebody's going to read this story, and it will bring out good people to support you. Thank you. Well done, and well done for all you do at the WAAW Foundation. Well, I love this that we have the passion to do this. The last person I'm going to give this opportunity to speak to is Bridget. Bridget just dropped off the call. Okay, Bridget. Yes, can you tell us how your experience has been with WAAW so in your country? Bridget Adi. Hello, Bridget. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm not sure Bridget is actively on this call. But regardless, everyone, we have been doing amazing things. So let's keep encouraging ourselves, because if we make it better, it will be better for every one of us. If you reach out to somebody and you share a skill with somebody, you teach somebody a tech skill, you teach somebody something new, what have you done? You have also helped yourself, because those people, if they don't have a skill or something to do tomorrow, they might be the people that are going to trouble the society or you have given them something to do, you have taught them something, and they are earning a living from that. What have you done? You have reduced the crime rate, you have impacted a life, you have made somebody's dream to come to reality. So let's keep doing that. And I see us doing a lot of good in future and everyone coming together to become great individuals. So I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us in this meetup this month. I see us celebrating a lot of people next month. I see us celebrating a lot of people next month. So let's keep doing the good things we do. Let's keep doing the good things we do. Aya, you're unmuted. Do you want to tell us something? Okay, thank you. So let's keep doing the good things we do. And I see us doing well. Okay, Bridget, are you ready to speak? Oh, okay. Let's keep doing the good things we do. And thumbs up to everyone that's organized an outreach and those that are yet to do that, that are still going to do that next week. We are out for you. We are happy you are doing that. We are happy you are reaching out to everyone. So till next month, I'd say have a wonderful evening and have a wonderful month ahead. Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to have you on the call. Good night. All right, you can say hi to your friends while we drop off the call. You can say hi to everyone. If you wish to, if you know somebody in the call, you want to say